guys, welcome to Tony's Tech Talk, episode 15, recorded on June 11th, 2014. I know after I set up the show notes, and especially the title to the show, I actually went back and I checked out a bunch of other tech news related topics that I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, so we'll touch on that. But I do want to start off with kind of not a somber note. It's kind of a scary note to a certain degree. Two very popular tech websites, one is Feedly, the other is Evernote, were recently attacked, DDoS attacked to be specific. For those of you who don't know what DDoS is actually distributed denial of service. So I'm not saying it with a stutter. It really is a thing, and it's not DOS, what we grew up with. Well, my folks grew up with. My people. Not my people. Anyways, so yeah, essentially Feedly, which was the ever so popular replacement of Google Reader, as well as Evernote. Now, I think Evernote now is back up and running, but Feedly continues to be down, and it's a combination of a DDoS attack and also the hackers, the attackers, if you will, are basically putting the site in ransom. They're asking the Feedly founders, the Feedly company, for a specific sum of money. I forget how much it is. I think it's quite substantial. And saying, if you don't give us this money, we're going to keep your site off the blink. So Feedly went to their own blog separate from the site and said, this is what's happening. We are not down as a company. Our servers aren't down per se. There's nothing we can do about it because we're being attacked, and we now are going to involve, not the government, but like the cops, the police, the authorities. So, guys at Feedly, I'm sure you've heard this all day, but do what you got to do. I hope you are able to figure it out. For those of you that use Feedly and you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't have a news feed, temporarily try Pulse. I really like Pulse. Google Play Newsstand is actually, I opened my eyes to it. It's not just a place where you can buy subscriptions to magazines and newspapers. You can actually subscribe to websites like CNET, The Verge, and Gadget, and it comes in like a subscription base, but it's free because it's CNET, The Verge, and Gadget. So it was pretty cool. Check that out. On iOS, yeah, Pulse, Flipboard. But yeah, Feedly is awesome. I for the short time that I did use it, I thought it was great. But I moved on. But I know a lot of y'all use it, so hopefully it gets fixed up. Moving on from that, there is a very popular application on Android that I've been using for, I want to say since 2010, 2011, and it's a keyboard replacement app called Swiftkey. And originally it was Swiftkey, then they upgraded to Swiftkey X, and then all this other stuff. Then they had separately had the Swiftkey for tablet, which was like, essentially these were paid apps, or $3.99 each. And for me, for the betterment of the app and its development, I paid for it, and I thought it was worth every penny. The prediction was awesome. They also implemented SwiftFlow, which basically was swipe, and a few other features where it predicted what you would say next based off of what you said in Google+, in your email, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Foursquare. As long as you gave it the access, it would look at that and say, okay, you say I love you a lot to this individual. You say I will have coffee to this individual. So they had that in the data bank, in the memory bank, so to speak, and it's just so much easier to type with Swiftkey. I've been using Google keyboard on my Android device for, I want to say 3 months, because there was an issue with Swiftkey and Google+. Now they fixed it, but you no longer have to spend $3.99 for Swiftkey. As of today, the 11th of June 2014, Swiftkey is available for free on both Android tablets and Android phones, and anything and all in between, through the Google Play Store. And the way that they're going to recoup their monetary loss by making it free is that they have in-app purchases. So what can you get with the in-app purchases? Essentially skins. So this is an example of an HTC One M8 with a green skin of one of their keyboards. They also added the top row to have the number keypad. Before, they didn't have that ability. And then this is an example, a screenshot of the Swiftkey store. So you can buy individually, I think like 50 cents individually or $1 individually, depending on which one that you get. Or you can get, excuse me, some of them are free, like the Spotlight Orange right there is free. So you download it, it doesn't take up that much memory on your device, and you can kind of play around with it. I remember when they had a specific one called Pumpkin that came out around the time of Halloween, which is interesting because Swiftkey is a British company, but they were able to cater to us American people and thought, hey, why not? And it was free to download, so that was pretty cool. And for those of you that actually purchased Swiftkey beforehand, you think, oh, all I had to do was wait 4 years and it would have been free for me. That's what, $1 a year off? They're offering you, a paid user, the free premium pack of 10 Swiftkey skins for free. So all you have to do is go to the Swiftkey blog, and they basically spells it out on how to download it. And as long as you sign in with the Swiftkey Cloud, which is their cloud backup, so you can have Swiftkey on multiple devices, and you just have basically one single sign-in, which is awesome. It would basically register, oh, this person paid for it, and you're good to go. So I downloaded it. I think it's awesome, and I'm very, very happy that even on an older device like the Galaxy S3, which I'm unfortunately using at the moment, it works seamlessly, very nicely, and even with the up-to-date Google Now stuff and things like that. So very, very cool. I'm very excited to see what else comes out of Swiftkey. Now, what this means also is that when iOS 8 becomes available to everybody, and the iPhone 6 is available as well too, maybe iPhone 6s, because apparently there's going to be 2 iPhones coming out. Don't take my word for it. But this means that, you know, iOS users and iOS tablet users would also be able to take advantage of Swiftkey for free. And that's one thing that on iOS some individuals have been clamoring about. You know, Apple was really they were behind their guns when it came to their keyboard. They said our keyboard is the best. Our keyboard is the greatest keyboard based off of finger placement, the size of the screen, where all the numbers are. It just makes sense. And to some people it didn't. Some people said, okay, let's try some other methods of typing. And FlexKey and Swiftkey actually also, they were able to get into the iOS App Store, the iTunes Store, but in order to use a third-party keyboard, it was actually within a separate app, and then you would have to copy and paste your stuff out, or you would actually share it out. It was just really complicated, and from a user-friendly standpoint, it wasn't user-friendly. But now you'll be able to download it for free. Well, I guess in the fall you'll be able to download it for free, and this is where you're going to really compare Apple's interpretation of a better keyboard with this swiping motion and the predictive text and everything, or Swiftkey's, or Swipe, or Flexi, or whoever else. You know, I mean, that's the beauty about it. Again, that's the beauty that us Android users have been really enjoying for many, many years. And so, yeah, y'all over in iOS land are going to be very, very happy with that. Now, I am a child of the 80s/90s, and one TV show that I loved was actually quite educational, and it was a cartoon, and it was called The Magic School Bus. And, you know, there was Miss Frizzle, and she had awesome dresses, and she had the iguana on her shoulder, and they went to the moon, they went into Bellies, they went to under the sea. They had all these awesome adventures, and you actually learned some stuff while enjoying their time. And Netflix, being that they are creating their own, you know, content and things like that, they realize how many people are, well, not downloading, but at least streaming the Magic School Bus, whether it be in the kids section of Netflix or the standard section of Netflix. They said, you know, a lot of people are really enjoying the Magic School Bus, so let's revamp it, let's bring it back, but with a little bit of a modern day twist. So then this, I don't know if this picture, this screenshot here that Engadget found, if this is what the animation is going to be like, or if this is just an interpretation. But they said that Netflix is going to bring back the Magic School Bus. It's going to be called Magic School Bus 360 Degrees. which is the circumference of a circle in degrees. Well, actually, it's not the circumference of a circle. Circumference of a circle. Okay, sorry. But yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to come in 2016. So for those of you who can't wait until 2016, you can see the classic episodes. They should still be available. Or just hang on tight, watch some Orange is the New Black if there are no kids in the room, because you should not watch that with kids in the room. Yeah, so I'm very, very excited about that. And so, I mean, how's that tech related? I mean, they're the new, like, kind of atmosphere, the new environment that these kids are going to be in, and that Miss Frizzle is going to wear a little bit more high-tech stuff. So there's going to be robots, there's going to be some, like, wearables, like a biometric suit and things like that. So that's cool. I'm really excited about that. The bus is still going to talk. I hope the bus is still going to talk. Actually, I'm kind of guessing, but I don't see why not. You know, talking bus, it's robots. Another cool thing that came out of today's news is that there's a phone that is coming out this summer that I'm very excited about, because I'm not really keen on the whole Samsung Galaxy thing anymore. I know I've been using Samsung Galaxy, and I still use it right now to this day. I've used the S3, S4, the Note 2, the Note 3. I mean, pretty much all the major ones. My wife has the S5, so by proxy, I have the S5. And I don't see anything wrong with TouchWiz, but I hear so many people in the tech industry just really kind of bashing on TouchWiz. And for me, I do use a launcher. I use the Nova Launcher Prime, which I think cost me $1 or $2, and I use it with the Nexus style launcher and a few other modifications. So I'm not really using TouchWiz, but I like the form factor of some of the Galaxy lines. But there was one phone that was announced recently that I can't wait to test and play with, and that's the LG G3. Now, my first experience with LG in the smartphone realm, or semi-smartphone realm, was the LG Voyager, the LG Envy, the LG Venus. I mean, these were some pretty awesome phones for the day. You know, this was right after the LG Chocolate on Verizon, which is the VX 8500, 8550. Such a nerd. But the thing was, when LG went into Android, they didn't really bring that oomph. You know, the one of the first LG Android phones with 4G LTE, I think it was the first LG phone with 4G LTE for Verizon, was the Revolution. And it did revolutionize it because this was the first Android phone to come with Netflix. At least I think on Verizon it was the first one to officially come with Netflix. I got Netflix on my Thunderbolt because I'm awesome like that. But yeah, I didn't like the LG Revolution. And then I said, okay, it's just the first of its kind. The first is always the worst, right? I mean, look at the Thunderbolt. So I gave LG another shot. LG then came out with some other, like, Optimus this and L7 that, and it just never came to part. Like, it was always falling behind. The UI was just really draggy, or was ugly. The hardware they never really caught my eye. And then last year, I don't know what it was, they came out with the LG G2. Or actually, the LG G Pro was really nice. I got to admit, that was really nice. And then the LG G2 with the buttons on the back was really thin. Like, oh, okay, it's getting better. Now we have the LG G3. Let's forget about the LG G Flex, because that's nah. But the LG G3, a 2K screen. I mean, quad HD screen, I guess. I mean, it's just beautifully designed. From what I've heard, the buttons on the back are even better to kind of handle. There's a little bit more grip regarding that. And the camera quality is just unsurpassed by anything else as of right now. I mean, it's got OIS, which is optical image stabilization, which is really important for, like, close-up macro shots and things like that. We don't know when it's coming out here in the United States. I mean, it's out available in South Korea, so I can go to South Korea and get one and bring it back, and then I would be bankrupt because it costs a lot of money to go to South Korea. But we have heard from EvLeaks on Twitter that supposedly Verizon is doing pre-orders on July 10th. And he didn't specify exactly how much it would be. I would probably guess, if you're doing a 2-year contract, maybe $200. So pre-orders on July 10th, and the actual device is going to hit stores and online shopping channels on July 17th. So gotta wait 1 month with the Galaxy S3. So patience is a virtue, and hopefully, when I finally get it in hand, everything is going to come full circle, and it's going to be everything that I want it to be. And if it's not, then I'll just throw skin on there. What's it called? I'll mod it or ROM it or whatever. But I'll just do the easy way, just throw skin on there just in case. But cool. Next up, if you go to Starbucks a lot, and I know there's a lot of you that do, especially y'all in Seattle, stop going to Starbucks. They don't need any more of your money. But if you do go to Starbucks and you said, oh, you know what? I need to charge my phone, but there's no plug. I mean, a lot of Starbucks these days are getting a little bit smarter about how many outlets that they put, because they know people just live in Starbucks. I mean, it's your own fault, Starbucks. You put a freaking fireplace in there. Of course I'm going to live in Starbucks. Fireplace, couch, and a plug. It's my home, away from home. But now what they're doing is, well, they're not really making you want to leave anymore. For certain devices, these Starbucks nationwide are going to implement the new wireless charging modules embedded into some of their tables using the wireless charging standard called Qi, or it's QI. So I think it's Qi is how you pronounce it. It's going to be free as long as you have the proper technology on your phone. So this will work with specific phones, and that's the caveat. Currently, right now, the only phones that work with the Qi standard are the LG G3, the Nexus 5, a number of Nokia devices, and then, for example, Samsung. They have a PMA compatible replacement, so you can get that working with your Galaxy S5. If you've got an iPhone, because I know there are a ton of y'all iPhone users out there, Duracell actually sells a modification, a charger called the Duracell Power Mat or something like that. I forget exactly what it is. Yeah, Duracell Power Mat for iPhone case. It's a whole case, and it just makes your phone just makes it really big. And then there's another kind of add-on. If you actually look at the screen here, there's another add-on that I don't know if this is official or not, but it just plugs into the Lightning or the regular 30-pin, or I guess to the left those could also be micro USB connections. So if you've got something like, I don't know, I can't think of a phone right now. A phone that doesn't have this ability, you would plug it in there, and that little O-ring has the Qi technology, and then thus your phone would be able to charge wirelessly without having to be plugged in. So, one thing, oh cool, Evernote is up. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Bruce. Evernote's up, but Feedly is still down, so sorry, Feedly users. Okay, going back to this. This is really cool. Again, for those of you that have never used wireless charging, you're like, what's the point? I don't see a point. It's really kind of, you just don't have to think about it. I don't have an example here, but you just put your phone on the desk in the area. You don't have to place it left or right, up and down. You don't have to fiddle with the little door, because some phones have the door because they're water resistant. Like the Samsung Galaxy S5, you just place it there, and then you drink your coffee, and then you go online and start trolling everybody. I mean, it's just so simple and just so quick and easy. However, what you trade with it is it takes longer to charge. So take into account if you have something like this. This is a Nokia. It has the Nokia branding right there. I got it at I think it was an Engadget event. Yeah, I think so. The Nokia charger, and it charges anything micro USB. It's actually very handy, and I chose the pink one because well, no one else wanted the pink one, and I want to be unique. And so this one, it charges the phone because it's a regular USB charger to a certain degree. It charges the phone very slowly. Like if I would have plugged my phone to the wall, let's just say it takes 2 hours, this would take maybe 3.5 hours to charge it. It might only charge it halfway, depending on how big the battery is. You know, if we're talking about the LG G3, that's what, 3,000 milliamp battery. So this probably won't charge it. And so the wireless Qi charging, especially at Starbucks, is really only going to be a top off. You know, like, oh, my phone's about to die. Place, yada yada yada, troll. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. Take phone. Phone's back up to 20%. Cool, I'm good to go. Walk out. So that's another kind of like really cool thing that you're able to do. So don't expect a full charge, but just know what you're getting yourself into, and it'll be okay. The last thing that I do want to mention is a win, and the last thing I want to mention is a win for all you cell phone users out there. It looks as though the U.S. Appeals Court has just ruled that police must now have a warrant to track your cellular location. Now, before, it seemed that if you were on the run or if at any moment in time, police could say, "Hey, let's just go see where Tony is," and they could just look it up and triangulate me and say, "Oh, he's there. Cool." Apparently, they have found out. Well, not found out, but they have decided that this infringes on the Fourth Amendment. So for those of you who are not familiar with the American Constitution, the Fourth Amendment states that the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. So this is kind of like the same thing, like a cop pulls you over and he says, "Open the glove compartment." Like, why? Do you have reason for me to open the glove or open the trunk or whatever? It's like, well, I smell something of the green variety. Like, oh, okay, well then that's or I heard a voice in the trunk. It's like, well, okay, you got me there. Sorry. But now, at least on the cell phone side of it, unless they have a warrant saying we can go into your house, we can track your phone, apparently police now have to abide by this. So whether they abide by it or not, that's two totally different things. Hopefully the individuals, the police officers that are going to be doing this sort of tracking are upstanding citizens and police officers. And I know there are many that there are out there. But just be forewarned that if this does happen to you and the cops said, okay, we found out that you were at this bar, and that's how we were able to contact you as quickly as we did. Like, well, why did you even look at my my cell phone location? It's like, oh, well, because we're trying to find you. Why? Do you have a warrant? No. Well, this is not admissible in court, and you need to let me go, or something to that effect. Get a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but this is real cool, and this is really good, at least for those privacy individuals that are really keen on being private and things like that. What's interesting is, if you think about it, a lot of these features and services that we use, especially if you're on Android, you're giving up your privacy to Google, but Google, you're giving up your privacy to Google, which is fine, but when it comes to the law, you're not giving up your privacy to the law. So there's some line there where we're okay with giving it to Google, but the second something goes down, we're not okay with giving it to the United States without being asked, or to the government, or to the authorities without being. It's just weird. Just the mentality, the different mindset, and I think it's very interesting. Bruce, going back to the question that you had, the website is called Feedly, FEED .ly. If you go to it, all it says is all it says is welcome, and that's pretty much it. So, I really do hope that they are able to fix that. So that's pretty much it, guys. So to recap, I'm hoping to get a new phone, the LG G3 soon. Starbucks has wireless charging. Swiftkey is now available for free to download, so go ahead and download, try it out if you haven't done so already. Popular Magic School Bus 360 Degrees is coming out in 2016, and the courts need a warrant to track your cell phone location. Awesome. So if you have any questions, comments, you want to follow up with me, hit me up here on Google Plus Tony Hannity's, or you can just find me on Twitter, LTG Tony. There's a lot of things going on right now with the website. I mean, you guys can't see it, but like when the curtain is like when it closes and things like that, like we're just throwing things around. We're trying to like clean things up and try and clean up the code. We're gonna change a few things. Again, nobody's leaving. No one's going anywhere, but we're just going to make everything a lot better for you guys as viewers, listeners, and readers. So thank you very much for the support and the patience. But yeah, I probably won't be doing a show tomorrow night because, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, if Sprint buys T-Mobile, I'm doing a show. God darn it. But I can't believe that people think, that's a different show. Churning test. Do you think that's important? Yes or no? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below here, or hit me up on Twitter, and or not Turing test. That's pretty much it. You guys have a swell evening. Watch some Netflix, and I will talk to you. I'm gonna talk to you. Take care. Bye.